What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? We got to talk about these charts today. We got Singularity ripping, Ondo ripping, Render ripping, Matrix, Chlor, The Graph, Fetch, Filecoin, all of those coins minus Matrix. Every one of those other coins I've talked about in the BitLab Discord, talked about here live on stream, talking about getting stacked into these. So I hope you're all riding the bags here. If you're holding any of those coins, let me know in the chat. We're going to be getting going here on the stream here in just a couple minutes. Hope you're all feeling good. Markets are feeling like they're doing well. Bitcoin may be having a little bit of a pullback brewing, but will it? Will that capital flow into altcoins, or will altcoins get pulled down further? We got to talk about what the hell's going on, but we're going to be getting to here in just a couple minutes. Who all we got in here pre-stream before the stream really gets going? Let's see who we got the OGs now. So we got Sack Nasty 86. We got R Russ in here. Says yes sir. Falco in here. What's up? Alex Green, Alexander G, Atropine, Theo Rodriguez, Tastaduk Rasul. What's up, everybody? What's the next move? Let's talk about that. We're going to be breaking down these charts here in just a moment. Can't speak. Moment. Hope you're all feeling good with these charts. Hope you've been packing your bags. How many of you are just sitting on the sidelines waiting? I'm curious if anybody hasn't made any moves yet. How many of you are selling right now? How many of you guys have been stacking? We're about to get into it, everybody. Hit that like button. We're going to get going here in just a moment. Falco says he still's got some dry powder, but I've definitely been stacking on the pullbacks. STX stacks, says her Logie. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. So everybody, let's get ready. Stretch your backs, do your push-ups. We're about to dive into these charts. I got some great things to share with you today. Let's break down where the hell this market's going. If you're ready to get this stream going, everybody throw a 1 in chat. Let's talk about these charts. Where's it going? Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my home. We're going to talk about these charts today. A lot of things going on in the market, but first things first, how you doing? How you feeling? I hope you're feeling grateful today. We got to talk about what's going on in these markets because look at this. Top performers today on my watch list: Singularity, Ondo, Render, Matrix AI, Clore.ai, The Graph, Fetch.ai, Filecoin. What do you notice about all these coins all in through here other than Ondo? Every one of these coins in some way is tied to the AI narrative. What's going on with NVIDIA absolutely destroying their earnings and blasting beyond the projections of what they thought they could get. And this just is, basically tying into this positive narrative around what's going on with AI. And we're seeing a lot of things going well in the market right now, but we also have some signs that Bitcoin may be pulling back. So let's look at that here in a moment. But I just want to point out, I broadcast these in the BitLab Discord as well as on these live streams regularly over the last couple of weeks, talking about Singularity, Ondo, Render. I did not mention a Matrix AI, but now it's on my radar. I'm going to have to take a look at this. Clore.ai, I was talking about the last couple of days. The Graph, this one is the best performing asset I have currently in my alt portfolio that I just started with all of you, showing you guys the moves I was making. This one is performing the best. We can actually pull that up right now. We can see right here, the Graph, look at this, up 86% since I entered. I think I entered on February 7th, so about 2.5 weeks. But everything's performing well. The only thing that's not really performing well so far is Quant and Celestia, but I had been outlining this with all of you on these charts coming down here. I was talking about TIA. Some people were wondering why I hadn't gotten a lot of it. It's because when we look at this and we look at charts, we always need to see what the narrative is telling us. This chart was telling us maybe the bullish momentum was starting to have some rotation of capital out, meaning people taking some profits because some people did get in these lower levels, and these are massive gains. Some people, you want to wait for the opportunity for the next move. And so while I did get some exposure to this, right where this green bar is, if we come down to let's go to the 6 hour, this is where I got it. Yes, it went up, but now it's come back below. But I'm okay with this because I can stack more if this does drop further. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff going on in the market today because we have a lot to cover. We have a lot going on. Potential drawdowns in Bitcoin, but maybe Bitcoin travels sideways and moves up. We're going to be talking about all this, Bitcoin, altcoins, and more. Shout out to all of the members in the chat, and Alex Green, member here for 3 months. And he's not only a member, he's a member of the team, actually. He helps us with a lot of stuff on the back end, and I love Alex Green, so thank you there. Falco gifted 5 memberships. We're getting the gift train running today. I guess people are feeling good. We got green in the live chat. We got green on the damn charts with these coins pushing up and around. If you only have one coin in your portfolio, maybe you're not feeling like it's doing well, but this is why you diversify. You identify the different parts of the ecosystem that look like they're about to run. You identify what is likely going to take some capital interest. And I mean capital interest, that means buying in the market, not just I'm interested. No, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And we want to have exposure to these different types of assets that can run on different levels of risk, different levels of that risk matrix of I can get good gains, but I also want to protect myself from big losses. This is why when I'm talking and I'm sharing this with you all live as I do it here on this altcoin portfolio that I started, this entire portfolio, February 7th, this smaller altcoin portfolio, I have Bitcoin, I have all of this stuff in my other portfolios, but this one's alts only, and I have a broad array. If we come here to analytics, and this is key, the secret, it really is the secret to having gains and sustaining them over a period of time in this market. You could throw it all into one coin and maybe get lucky, but I'm not here to be a part of the lottery. I am here to compound my capital into bigger and larger amounts of money and do it in a risk managed way. In this case right here, you can see the larger players: Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink, AVAX, SEI. This one's a little bit more of a risk play, but this also has a larger percentage on here because since I bought it, it outran some of the other stuff. In this case, GRT also exploded higher. We also have Render. I might be adding more to Render. We're seeing the positive effect AI is having on traditional markets as well as the crypto markets. But it's also, maybe it's not an AI play. Maybe it's not water, right? But you still need to get the pipes to get the water to the location. That's what Render is. Render is GPU processing, shared GPU, decentralized GPU processing. It's not just for graphics. This is going to be a larger part utilized by graphics companies, sure, and gaming, but AI, that compute power with these, shared graphics processing units. This is why this is one of those ones that is having huge explosion. We also see Near. I might be adding some more to Near as well. Quant getting much smaller. HBAR had a great run up the last couple of days. Ribbon Finance, DeFi play. DeSo, Decentralized Social, and TIA is the smallest one on here. So currently, and that's because everything else is run and it hasn't. And what I'm going to do over the next coming weeks is be talking with you all on a regular basis here on the stream, but also in the BitLab Discord, which, by the way, we have another member stream this afternoon. And we have another member stream tomorrow afternoon. This afternoon is 3 p.m. with Joshua Jake talking about some more picks, some of those gems, some of those things you may not know even exist yet, and identifying why they may be good picks for higher risk, but also higher reward. We also have tomorrow, Alex and I are going to be doing some indicators training, talking about basically breaking down the BitLab trading stack and also looking at how we can utilize these different signals to capture these moves before they happen. So get involved there, and let's go ahead and talk about everything that's going on today. We have how many people in the room? I can't even see it. 101 people, 101 right now as we just started. Big love to everybody. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time here, it's not going to be your last. I know usually I'm in the studio at the BitLab, but today I had to stream from home because I had some drop-offs and some deliveries coming I had to be home for. So my name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about what we want to talk about. Okay, now let's get over here to, well, this is not what I wanted to show. Right here, Gary Gensler. Boom. Gary Gensler and the SEC are being sued in Texas over their excessive crypto overreach. I think this is going to be a regular occurrence here in the next year if he's still in office, if he's still in his position after whatever this next administration is going to be. But this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. I just wanted to point this out because Gary Gensler has done nothing but bad things for the industry, even though we thought he was going to do good things since he was a professor of blockchain at MIT. Clearly, he's bought and paid for it, but let's continue on. By the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you give me a follow at Kelly Kellum, KELLYKELLAM. A lot of fake accounts out there. Make sure you're following BitLab Academy at Academy BitLab. Go ahead and retweet this today. Hit this retweet, hit this like button. Tomorrow, I am going to be drawing from this one from today. I'm telling you the specific day. So everybody, if you retweet and hit the like button, you get entered to win. Doing a giveaway for anybody that's helping participate and loving and supporting the channel. So go ahead, hit that retweet, hit that like button. I've already done that, of course, because I quote tweeted it, but just hit the retweet. But we got some things to talk about right here. This is something, there's some contentious things we have to look at in terms of where we think Bitcoin's going and the supply crunch that may or may not be coming in. Man, I love seeing all these familiar names in here. Tig old biddies. Everybody in here. I'm seeing all the names on a regular. We got Zachary Martin. We got Sawtooth Hiker, Danny Bird, Red Elephant, Minja Forf. Everybody's in the house. But we got to talk about this because everybody has this contention right now that there's a supply crunch coming. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Is it more midterm? Is it a longer term thing? Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen because of the halving? And this is a very important thing right here. If we look at this, there's more Bitcoin available than anyone really thinks. Demand activates supply. A fixed hard cap of 21 million does not mean it's hard to get your hands on. Every influencer with the supply shock narrative needs to reassess their foundation. All right, well, let's look at this chart and see what he's talking about. We can see here 700,000 Bitcoin has moved to the OTC desk, over-the-counter desk, meaning you can buy it. Essentially, think of it like Costco. You could buy it in bulk, not at the store, right? You could buy it without it affecting slippage in price. Because if you have huge, I'm talking these billion-dollar, $100 million, multi-$100 million, billion-dollar orders. Shout out Alex Green for the gifted 5 memberships. You know what? Let me look right now. I believe we may have eclipsed the level we need to be at to get that next to get that next emoji. So let's go ahead and look at that 1 second. Let's go to earn memberships. But this is a very important story, so stick with me here. We're going to talk about this emoji. Every day this tells me I need 2 more, and then we get 10, and now it says I need 18 more memberships. I don't know why it does this. Maybe because I honestly have no idea. That just upsets me. I'm prepared every day for the new emoji. But looking at what's going on here, we see this massive flood right here. New money coming into the OTC desks. Now, of course, we've had a narrative shift, or at least a fundamental shift in how the flow of capital into Bitcoin with the advent of the ETF launch and then all those coming on. But then also we're seeing huge amounts of capital. Let me come over here, go to Bitcoin strategy platform. We can come down here to ETF tracker. We can see right here, look at this. There's 727,000 Bitcoin held in the ETFs. Now, 446,000 of that is represented by Grayscale, but there's multiple 280,000, 260,000 or something that have been bought, new Bitcoin that have been bought from the ETFs having to buy them because of the capital flow into the ETFs. No, that's one arm of this. But when we're looking at all the stuff that we're talking about like this, a big part of that capital flow in terms of the ETFs buying power was not them buying from exchange. I'm sure there was some, likely some buying from exchange, but a lot of it has to do with buying that supply that's being dumped from Grayscale, that rotation that was happening, right? But that's going to at some point stop. But then there's also going to be, where is this capital coming? Where is the Bitcoin coming from? Not capital. Where's Bitcoin coming from for not only ETFs, but as new people come in the market, especially as this purple line, the price gets pushed higher and higher, we're going to start seeing a huge flood of new retail investors enter the Bitcoin market. And that's going to represent buying power in the market. And that's going to take from these exchange reserves, but also from these OTC desks. At some point, there's going to be a crunch there. The question is going to be, is it going to be a supply crunch that really affects the price? As we see right now, all of a sudden we have 700,000 more Bitcoin moved to the OTC desks. This is not meant to fudge you. This is just meant to point out, because we have the ETFs doesn't mean we're going up only here without having these drawdowns along the way. So look at this, understand there are shifting narratives and there's shifting different types of analysis on this market, that you want to make sure you're not just moving on a data point, but you understand broadly where this market is going. Where is that graph, right? No, it's somewhere over here. Let me look. Understand where we are going. Halving's coming right here. There's a sentiment narrative around what happens now with this halving. AKA people see halving market go up, halving market go up, halving market go up. There's a lot of expectation around having market go up now, especially with all these new capital flows. There's a huge case to be made that there could be a massive counter trade here. Am I saying this to fudge you out? Absolutely not. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things at play right now that we need to be careful of, but large in part, we have the best setup that we've ever had on Bitcoin. We have the best setup we've ever had in the crypto market, with the awareness globally of what's going on with Bitcoin, these ETFs, capital flows, access points, the on-ramps and off-ramps. I mean, other than Australia, where they're really clamping down on the ability to get to transfer their fiat money into any exchanges. But broadly speaking, this is now a proven asset that also has a stamp of approval from the largest asset managers in the history of the world, Fidelity and BlackRock, Larry Fink. So my question is right now, am I worried about any downside? Even though I'm giving you the counter narrative right now, I'm presenting it honestly as an opportunity. I think when we look at what's going on in the market right now, let's get back over to some of these things that we were talking about. This huge inflow here, this represents some miners, I'm sure, offering some of their assets to be sold, because we're also going into the most competitive part of the market that's ever happened with miners, which is post-halving, because their revenue gets cut essentially for the most part in half. Miners' revenue is by competing to mine blocks and confirm those transactions, right? And they get a miner reward. Right now it's 6.25. After April 20th, or roughly about April 20th, when the halving occurs, they get 3.125. They have to make sure that they stay competitive because technology is moving so fast that if they don't upgrade their gear, get everything in order, they don't build their facilities, they don't take some profits and rotate some of this capital. So this right here, while that may be scary, I don't think it should be representative of some potential, we're going to drop down to $20,000. No, people are making capital available. There's a huge flood that's coming into OTC desk. Great. Let's not let us see the forest for the trees. No, central banks, we talked about that a lot on the Discover Crypto show. They're just completely just fudding the crap out of everybody. If we come over here, actually come up here to Plan B. Plan B has it best. Actually, you know what? I already have it in here. Plan B has it best, and that is right here. So European Central Bank, remember they have this negative stamp of approval on Bitcoin. It's a FUD narrative. We've seen this type of thing in the past, right before we have incredible price action. These powers that be that feel like they're losing control, see this and they're like, oh man, this is about to explode. We're about to look like fools. Let's go ahead and say it's a bad thing. They're just absolute idiots. But you know what? It makes sense. European Central Bank is literally run by a fraud convicted criminal. Bitcoin is recognized by large global asset managers like BlackRock and Fidelity as the best performing asset. I mean, really in the history of the world. ETFs give investors better access to the superior asset, regardless of the central bank's line. Well, let's look at this. Christine Lagarde avoids jail, keeps job after guilty verdict in negligence trial. Okay, what's the next one? Christine Lagarde, convicted IMF head, found guilty of criminal charges over massive government payout. So we're seeing the shaping of the narrative because they're scared. So let's look at that and realize that we are entering into the best opportunity time zone we could ever be because of the risk adjustment, the global awareness, the capital inroads, and also the fact that you are here. If you've never even bought yet, you're just like, really, you're on the side, you're interested, you're already ahead of everybody if you're watching a channel like this, if you're watching content like this, if you're interested in crypto. We see this massive downtrend and it felt like the end of the world. And then when we zoom out on this chart, we realize it's just part of the schedule. This halving, up. We get the drawdowns. Great. We get the drawdowns. We've had these drawdowns in the past. But the question everybody's having right now, are we going to get that drawdown here? Maybe we get it post-halving. Regardless of what happens right now, I beg you, don't mess this opportunity up. If you don't know what you're doing, you buy and hold. If you're learning how to trade, learn how to trade with small fractions of your portfolio or paper trade. I talk about this a lot in BitLab Academy in these courses, breaking down all the different things for the fundamentals and psychology, but also the data points like on-chain analysis so you can forecast what is to come and can't understand reading candles and candle patterns. And then of course, in the trading and trading strategies and all this, we talk about paper trading. Or if you have $1,000, you're trading with $50. You go through the motions because you do not want to mess up this opportunity. Right now is a buy and hold opportunity. If you don't know what you're doing, you buy and hold Bitcoin. As you scale in and you want to take advantage of larger gains, then you do some diligence on Ethereum and you do some diligence on Cardano and AVAX and all these different coins. There's so many different coins out there. There's so many different coins. Like right now, look, Singularity's up, Ondo's up, Render, all these are up. So do I jump in and buy this right now? I don't jump onto a green candle. I do this, I reverse this. Okay, what are the worst? What are my losers? Okay, Stoblocks, I don't even know what this is. Stoblocks down, down. Arweave is down. This is one of those ones I've had on my horizon. I want to get into this. It's part of that DPIM play, that decentralized physical, the infrastructure, the roads, right? We're talking about the cities that are going to be built within the crypto space, meaning these ecosystems. Well, you need roads in those ecosystems. And that's what you want to really, I would really argue, want to focus on making sure you're getting those allocations towards layer one solutions like Ethereum, Cardano, AVAX, Solana. And then make sure you get a couple layer two solutions like Polygon. Then you also have other things like decentralized graphics processing like Render, which is a deep in play, file storage like Filecoin, Arweave, Link, which is utilized by nearly every blockchain out there, as well as real world assets. So understanding how these things, what their utility is and what utility they're serving, what problem they're fixing, and what part of an ecosystem, what part or parts of ecosystems are they helping support or connect? These are the questions you want to ask yourself. So we're looking at this and we got Bitcoin. Let's get right, flip this. Boom. Bitcoin's over $1 trillion market cap right now. Still holding up here in this range, 51,400. Ethereum's hovering right at that 3,000 mark. BNB still doing well. It's, it's I think this one will actually surprise people in the bull market. I don't really focus on this one a lot, and I should because it's in the top four, top 3 or 4. But I mean, this is the next biggest one next to Ethereum in terms of smart contract platform, right? But it's all going to be up to your diligence that you do and what interests you and what fears or hopes you have, because this is also going to be largely tied, I think, to what's going on with CZ and what's going on with Binance, of course, because this is Binance coin. Now we got XRP still kind of sitting on the sidelines. I think this one's going to surprise people, even though I don't really have much interest in XRP anymore. I know a lot of people have a lot of interest in this. My lack of interest in it doesn't mean it's a bad coin. I can only focus on so many things in my own portfolio. But there's so many different things we can do right now. We want to just pay attention. Who's buying? Who's selling? What should I be doing? We see things are getting a little overheated right now. If you're ready to jump into some TA, talk about some charts, talk about some prices, throw a one in chat. If you're a member, throw in one of your favorite emojis on here. SEI, yeah, it's down a little bit. I'm looking to get some more into that. Yeah, Pyth is something interesting as well. Question been asking around. Would you guys dump your DOT and put it into something with more potential to run? I mean, DOT's not something I would necessarily dump. I would figure out a way to identify capital you have somewhere else and use that to fund getting another coin. DOT I think is a good project, and I think it's going to do well. They're having some really good integrations and partnerships that they've had over the last year. Arweave. Okay, well, let's look at this. Just context before we dive into the TA. Things are getting a little overheated here. Highest they've been so far yet in this entire bullish trend. So it doesn't mean we can't keep going. We just saw NVIDIA just blow everything out of the water. So I'm prepared for up and I'm prepared for down. I'm prepared for whatever crypto does. I'm going to be around. I did not mean to make that a rhyme like we're cat in the hat, but I'm ready for whatever happens. And I'm able to be adaptable when I need to be, but I'm positioning these alts to ride the majority of this bull run post halving. This was a halving back here. You see, got a little overheated and we sold off. We got a little overheated right here. That's what the green is. Get a little overheated. The belief's coming in. Then it takes advantage of that, reverses back. Are we going to get that soon? Well, let's go ahead and see who's buying, who's selling. We see a lot of these 10 to 100 Bitcoin wallet addresses selling off into this. So that's a little concerning. Maybe that also speaks to why we're kind of sitting a little still right now. People, there is some questionability with people that are actually good traders, smart investors that are looking at the markets and saying we've had a sell-off every time pre-halving. We've only gotten 20% dips the entire last year plus, year and 2 months. I think we've had 20% dips. We've gotten nowhere near those 40 to 60% dips along the way that we've gotten in the past. So I do think there's hesitation right now where this is exactly it. When we come back over to this chart, what does this say? Belief, denial. That's why each one of these has two different emotions tied to it because it depends on what's being triggered. Right here, there's belief. It's also a bit of a denial sort of mode that we're in right now. People do not believe. There's people out there in the market that do not believe that we're going to push up and not have the sell-off. In fact, if you come back to my Twitter page from January 29th, come up to the top, January 29th, I think. Yeah, I posted this January 29th, 2003. So last year. And I talked about this move, which is exactly what happened. We had two little dips here, but then we moved up into this golden pocket, which is $48,000 to $50,000 range. And based on historical cycles, I projected that we may get that essentially a pullback down to a golden pocket retrace down to here and then launch up. Of course, we have not gotten anything like that yet. So I could be entirely wrong. But the reason I'm pulling this up is because there's a lot of technical traders out there. There's a lot of smart money investors out there. There's a lot of people that, if they're just looking at the historical cycles of Bitcoin, have seen that there have been large pullbacks surrounding the hype into the halving and then the subsequent sell-off to relaunch to absolutely move to the upside. So is the buying pressure too much coming in from all these ETFs? Is the buying pressure that we're seeing in all these news narratives that are going surrounding the ETFs and these record flows and record interest, and then Larry Fink coming on the TV, and now NVIDIA doing well? And is the market just in a place right now where bullishness is just overcoming any downside pressure, where buyers are just coming in? That could be the case, and I'm prepared for it if it does. But we're seeing we had this 10 to 100 Bitcoin wallet, 10 to 100 Bitcoin wallet addresses really reducing up into this move. And I think it has to do with the level we're at that golden pocket region. We still have to be prepared for a drop down to 38 or 36. It's getting less and less likely, in my opinion, but I'm still prepared for it. But because we also see right here, we saw this 10 to 100, but then we also see here 100 to 10,000 blue. This blue means they're stacking, as we see right here. So this is 100 to 1,000 all the way up to 10,000. So this is 100 wallet address, 100 Bitcoin in the wallet, all the way up to over 10,000 Bitcoin in the wallet. Now let's go all the way across over here. All of these with 100 or more have been stacking. So what we're seeing here, in my opinion, is a divergence between time horizons as to what's happening, because hedge funds, large ETFs, and very large smart money institutions and people are not day trading Bitcoin. They're taking their positions, like we see Michael Saylor. They're stacking their positions because they're looking 5, 8, 12, 24, 36 years ahead. Whereas, these people that are 1 Bitcoin up to 100 Bitcoin, we're greedy. We want it now. I want this now. And if it's going to drop if it's going to drop 40%, I want to sell now so I can buy back again lower. And that's a great strategy for people that are good traders that have a strategy and do that. But the large majority of people, 90% or more of people that trade, end up losing money. They don't end up making money. That's one of the reasons why I do this channel, because I don't want you guys to lose money. And if you are going to trade, I want to give you the tools and the resources and the data to make sure you're making good decisions. So we're seeing smart money stacking right now, but remember, they're stacking with the mindset that if the market does drop, they're not going to sell and capitulate. If the market drops, they're going to buy more, because they are looking at this in a long-term time horizon. So what does this mean for the price action on these assets that we're looking at? Now we see this, another one supports that. Holdings of large entities have soared to their highest since July 2022. So where the hell is price going? Let's talk about it. I see you guys all here in the room. We got to talk about where the price is going next and how we can make sure we don't get chopped out. Okay, if we're just looking at this, don't think about the market cycle. Don't think about the macro. Don't think about the halving. Look at the chart. Okay, what does this show? If we're just looking at price action, what does this look like? If we're unbiased and we ask ourselves, and you have to do this on a regular basis, what is the chart telling you? The chart's telling you it's had this move up, a little consolidation, and a move up. Is this going to be a consolidation where it's going to continue to the upside? Or is this going to be basically a market cycle where we have a low, rise, retrace, continuation, and this is a bit of an M formation, as we can see right here, M, and now we have a new low followed by a new lower high. Is this telling us that it wants to make a move to the downside? And if so, will it be sustained? Well, first things first, what is the data signals coming into this? Price action right here, we're looking at the 6-hour chart. Price action right here. If we look down here to the BitLab Trend Fuel, part of the BitLab trading stack, we see bearish divergence right here from this peak on the momentum to this peak. This is correlating with this peak and this peak. This is much higher, momentum is much lower, meaning that this is starting to lose a little bit of steam. We also see the same thing represented right here on the stochastics and the RSI. See these both trending to the downside, whether you're doing the RSI right there or the stochastics right there. The point is, those lines don't need to be exact. The point is, the signals underlying the price action moving up are getting weaker. And so what we're seeing is price action is consolidating at this level, and it doesn't mean it has to break down. It just means we need to be aware of the weakness so we can not let ourselves get taken advantage of by our emotions if it does drop, or we can take advantage of the price action if it does drop because we have targets to stack in, baby. And so we can see this dotted line right here. If you don't know what the dotted line is, zoom out. Okay, what is the dotted line? Well, it seems like this dotted line comes all the way back here. Boom, boom, boom. We go all the way up here. This is then rejection, rejection, rejection. And it seems like then we have this peak to this peak. It looks better on a smaller time frame. You can see this peak to this peak projected up. We have the price action entering a little bit of a trap zone right in here. If we lose this level and come back down into here, we'd be in a bit of a trap zone. But this is what my speculation is, because I do have a bullish bias and I will acknowledge that. My speculation is that there's a high likelihood that we do get a move down into the zone that's going to commit people to going short, clear out some of the liquidation levels that are directly below us. And then also we have this giant order block right here, this green, see these two green bars? See these two green bars that propagate from here over and then another more right here? Order blocks, meaning there's a large amounts of large orders that enter the order books at these price levels, showing liquidity interest at these zones. So what this is telling me is that we have an M formation here that's suggesting we may be moving down. We have another one within this right there. And if we lose this level, I'm looking for to see what happens on a move down. And the way I do that is on this move down is you want to see where the bounce comes in. Where do the buyers come in? And on the bounce up, do you have volume that's agreeing with the move up that can push you higher? Or is it going to be a fall, trick people, trap, and then continuation to the downside? This is what we want to pay attention to if we're trading it. Do not get chopped out right now ahead of the best period of this bull market cycle. Do not do it. I'm looking, rather than short anywhere right here, I'm looking for an opportunity to buy here, and I'm okay if it drops below that and then buy there. Because if I get to buy these two areas, I get to my average entry will be about halfway through that. Rather than putting it all here and have the price go down and be like, I could have had a better price. Or only having your target set here and having it only go here and go up and you don't get to take advantage of it all. This is why it's good to ladder your entries. And this isn't just for Bitcoin. This is for everything, baby. All right, the order blocks. It's just a lot of orders that come into, they actually are effectuated orders. So it's a lot of orders that come into at certain levels that actually get taken. My understanding. So when we're looking at this, get down to the 1 hour. I just want to point out something here real quick. We did have a negative money flow right down here on the BitLab trading stack. You see it's flipped negative right here from blue to purple. And this happened right about right here. And what happened? The price actually fell down. Now, as we stand right now, there's still negative money flow, and it looks like it's expanding a little bit. It tried to contract, but it's expanding, meaning all of a sudden there's more money flow coming out. Now, I do not have an opinion on whether or not I think this is going to break down or go up, because we're sitting at such an interesting level riding on this trend line right here. We've tried to tap this down a couple times. If I had to place my bets, I'd say it's 60-40, 60% likelihood we are going to move down. It says 65% likelihood we're going to move down. But I have my orders, I have my area set on here as to what that means. We also see the stochastics came up and rolled over rather quickly and angled back to the downside. Yes, they are looking like they're trying to bounce, but there's no bullishness in any of these signals here. It's all gray, red, gray, gray, red, red here on the dashboard here on BitLab TrendFuel. So I think that we could very well, everybody wants this up or down. Sometimes the most brutal thing in the market is for the price to do this. It just goes sideways. Any of you that have been in the market for any period of time will know that we've had we've had periods of time in the past. We've had periods of time in the past where the price action just, I mean, even through all here, we had a black swan right here, but this was in a range. Let's see, the $3,000 or $4,000 range. Almost a year around in that range with the black swan right in the middle of it. Some people sold here that thought it was going down. Others that are in a much better position today saw this drop, took the advantage, and bought there. So we've also seen this price action right here. Look at this. Now this is, I mean, we saw it on Chainlink also. That's 300 days just chopping sideways. So what we've seen right, and I shared a tweet. I shared a tweet on my Twitter. I hate that phrase. But when we do have these big impulses to the upside, we very regularly get these periods, impulse, chopping, okay, impulse, chopping, down, impulse, chopping, down. Large, chop here before now. Now the narrative switched. Push up, chop, push up, chop, wash out to the downside, and push up, chop. The question here is, which direction is it going to go? We're seeing big wallets buy, but we're seeing some of those smaller retail people take some profits at this region. So I'm just going to be a little bit hesitant right now and let it break this level or break down from this level to give me the idea of the trend it's trying to take. Now, when we come out of here, we look over at, we don't need to look at that. Let's go up to Ethereum. Let's look at some, gotta stretch my back. 187 people in the room. Oh, shout out for the gifted membership. Big love to you. If this is your first time here, let us know in chat. If this is your first time here, I'm not always here in my living room. Usually I'm in the BitLab Academy studio we got, which is a whole different thing. But it's fun to have you guys here in my home with me. I do want to shout out really quick before we're going to do a bunch of altcoin TA. I do want to shout out this afternoon, 3 p.m. I am doing my Crypto Answered. I'm kicking that podcast back on. It's right here. Head over to this page right here. And please RSVP to this. I'm putting it in the live chat. It's going to be me, The Rational Root. We got some great people on this one. The Rational Root. This is a guy that all these great on-chain charts I share and stuff, he makes them. I'm talking about these. This is his whole platform. This is all his stuff when we break down the halving cycle and showing how this is all The Rational Root. He's a brilliant guy. We got him on the discussion today. Where did it go? Yeah. Him. We got Caleb Franzen, one of channel favorites. I'd one a good friend of mine for a couple of years. Jesse Olson, absolute chart strategist, one of the best traders I know. And Kevin Svensson, just a legend here in the space. Come and tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It'd be great to have you there. Now let's talk about these charts. Let's talk about what's going on. Okay. So what are we looking at? We're looking at, we have this larger macro channel. This is trading in. Boom, 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 boom. Money flow turned positive. We're on the 3-day. Money flow's positive. RSI is looking like it's getting a little toppy. From this point right here, let's see. We have a slight downtrend. See that? Slight downtrend on the RSI. And on the same period, we have the Ethereum has pushed to the upside. Now, the context here is that ETH has an ETF, the Ethereum spot ETF on the horizon. So some of these signals, you might say there's a bearish divergence, it has to pull back. Some of these signals might get ignored because of the underlying bullishness of the speculation of the context of the moment for that asset. A lot of words there. Sometimes shit gets ignored because there's other things at play. That's the easy way to say it. Okay. Now, so when we're looking here on the 3-day, let's get down to the 4-hour and see. We have this rising level of support here. And this is, I basically just drew this in here. Support, 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 deviation, but support, support, support. You see how sometimes mess up their lines because they say, well, it has to go like this. Well, that could be a line too, but we're seeing a line here where the most bounces are coming in is right here. We're kind of riding in this into the apex here. How many of you in the chat right now? How many of you in the chat right now hold Ethereum? How many of you are only degen? You only hold super small micro cap coins and meme coins, and you're trying to get rich, and you know you're going to do it with that coin you got. And how many of you, I'm sure I'll see a lot. I'm sure I'll see a lot of you members here. How many of you have a fairly balanced portfolio? Maybe a little too much risk in one area, maybe, but you got a pretty good smattering of stuff. Yeah, all right. I see everybody's in here. I love it. All right, so we're pushing into this apex right here. This is what I like to see. This is my favorite type of thing to trade. When you have a known level above, a known level below, and it is converging, you know, whether you have a wedge, a rising wedge, falling wedge, any of those things, and you get the price action that gets compressed into the zones, because then you could trade the breakout, confirmation, continuation, breakout, confirmation, continuation. And the question is going to be here right now, what's going to happen? If Bitcoin takes a huge dive, Ethereum will likely move down with it. The question is going to be, is Ethereum going to move down as much as Bitcoin? Because when we look at the ETH BTC chart, we're coming into this. Ooh, let me go right here. So this downtrend, this ETH to Bitcoin, this is looking like it's really attempting, but it failed here. It failed here. It failed here. And we still have negative money flow here on the ETH to Bitcoin chart. So there are signs with this momentum pushing up in here, but we saw the same thing right here. And this one had a lot of buying power in it. Why do I say that? Green, all these green bars on the momentum waves. This means that there was a lot of more buying than the norm at you know, over a period of time. Now, the positive thing here is that the money flow here is looking like it's trying, but we've had a lot of these attempts with the money flow that it just hasn't really flipped positive over this last period of time. So as it stands right now, when I'm looking at ETH and I'm saying what to do, you guys are going to hate me for this. But you want the honest truth. I'm not doing anything with Ethereum right now because it's hard to gauge what the context is going to be at the moment with these ETH ETFs. If anything, when I reallocate in a couple days, I'm not even going to look at the TA. I'm going to buy one more ETH sometime in the next, I can't remember the date, sometime between Saturday and Tuesday next week is likely when I'm going to make the purchase. And I don't care if this is down. I don't care if the price moves down or if it is already breaking out, because I need more ETH in my portfolio and I see where I think ETH is going over this next bull run. I don't need to scoff at missing $75 of where the ETH price was. If you're actively trading this, then what I would say is I'd be looking for net buying opportunities right now because of all these the ETF speculation. But as we stare at this, let's go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit. We have this level right here, which I think is going to be a level that this will likely test again, which is basically the 26,860. And if we lose that, then likely coming back down to this level 2,600. And I'd love that if it happens. It may not though, because we are compressing into the zone, and the high likelihood that if we do move down here, it'll be probably quickly bought up and then move to the upside like that. But we are seeing the weakness coming in with the stochastics down, bearish momentum, bearish divergence on the momentum. But we're seeing other huge players. Who wants to see the huge players, those big movers that just happened over the last couple of days? Look at Fetch.ai, absolutely ripping it. I mean, this is a massive move. This is a, what is that, 140%, 137% move. And now we're coming in to a little bit of loss of momentum. So this is a narrative play coming in. This is a 12-hour. So here's a daily. Look at this. Look at this move right here. I mean, this is massive. What I'd love to see happen is just form a bit of a bull flag and give us a target that, I mean, that would be awesome. But there's no alpha there currently. What we have right now is an expansion of bullish momentum to the upside that started to slow down. And on this candle, which only has 6 hours left, this is a daily candle. This is looking like a reversal candle. So let's be a little bit cautious here with what's going on with the Fetch.ai. This is one of those ones I'm going to be adding to my portfolio. And we're seeing this large impulse, smaller impulse. So this is starting to roll. See this? Starting to roll over. Starting to roll over. Doesn't mean it can't continue up. We're seeing super strong narratives right now with all the AI plays with Sora, OpenAI, all those news narratives, NVIDIA. All these things are leading to a perfect storm, especially with where we're at in the market cycle right now, with things about to explode. And look at how much volume is coming into this. So this is one of those ones on a pullback I'd be looking to buy. Like in this case, we have, let's go ahead and draw this up like this. Arrow turned out to be perfect. So the 382, I'd be looking, this may not get a move all the way down to a golden pocket. When you have a very, very strong bullish narrative, a retrace might only get down to somewhere about the 382, find a little wick down in here, but then continue to the upside. But we're going to have to monitor this. We have to monitor to make sure that this narrative that's surrounding everything right now on these projects isn't just the only reason why these projects are pumping. If they're pumping because of Sora news and they're pumping because of NVIDIA and there's nothing that they're really bringing to the table to help sustain that momentum, then you could get a very quick move to the downside. So while I'm very bullish on these projects, I'm a little skeptical in terms of buying at this exact moment right now when we're just riding the coattails of somebody else's news. Does that make sense? Now, in terms of where we're at, looking for the next year and a half, I'm a net buyer. So I would prefer when I'm buying between Sunday and Tuesday for this to actually have a bit of a pullback. If not, then I'm going to have to reevaluate if this is still something I want to make on that purchase or not. Now we also see AGIX ripping. Same story here, but here we got a bit of. I'm not going to draw them all out, but we got a bit of a bull flag there, and then that next move up kind of went straight to that target. Now this is a very similar. Hopefully this turned into a bull flag too, and then we get another move up. Oh, that would be all the way up here to $1. That'd be breaking $1 on AGIX. Could you believe that from back here when we were at 17 cents? 15 cents. I mean, for those of you that bought the fear, you know, this is finally starting to make its moves. A lot of volume coming in. So this makes me a little skeptical because it's a narrative. Right now it's a narrative play. Now I'm bullish as hell on this over the long term, but there is something to be said that the stochastics came all the way down, bounced and came back up. The RSI came down and look at this, bounced right on the 50 line. So bounced, kept above the 50% line, but this does have a bit of a bearish divergence here. This is angled to the downside. See this? While this is pushing up, this may need a little bit of cooling, but things are getting irrational right now. Render. This is just going, oops, this is just going higher. This is where we bought. You know, it's up 74% now. Let's see. This is that portfolio that I was building with you guys. Render. Yeah, it's up 71%. Coming back, where did it go? Render's one of those plays that is doing something. They're being utilized. They have growing partnerships. They just had something that was also that was integrated or utilized in some capacity with the new Apple Vision. And it's tied into the AI narrative with the GPU processing. I mean, I'm going to be stacking more of this for sure. Now, this has got a little bit of a parabola kind of moving up right here. We can see that. I always forget where the damn, right here. I always forget. It doesn't matter. Just draw it. I have a bit of a parabola kind of moving up right here. Watch for if this does break down for a bit of a move down that seems out of context. It's just because this is starting to move up so fast that if we do get a little bit of a sell-off, this could have a pretty quick move down. But this ultimately would be a great area. The 608 to 646 sort of zone. We could draw a box on here, right here. Why? Because this is a last known footing, if you will. But as it stands, if we look at this on the 3-day, look at this. I mean, it's just going into price discovery. I believe this is price discovery, is it not? I know it's because yeah, it's just because I'm looking at the Coinbase chart, but this is performing quite well. We have positive money flow. The stochastics came down and reset quite low on this pullback right here, giving it a lot of room that if it does want to run, I think it can run quite well. Watch for pullbacks. You know, these sort of pullbacks right here that you see that are 10 to 14% or even more. I mean, this would represent a 20% pullback, which would be excellent. But if the market does have that pre-halving pullback, I do think altcoins are they're going to give you some better opportunities. The question is if that's going to happen. Zachary Martin says, crypto crank. Now he said, but retail will pump render hard during peak. I mean, this is going to peak. This is going to perform really well in the market. I wonder what this is on the coin market cap rankings. Let me see. Render's 38. I could see this in the top 25, top 15 because of its implications and how it's tied together with other types of protocols in the space and other utilities in the real world. This is why I like Link so much. This is why I like Cardano so much. Cardano building out infrastructure in Africa, as well as doing smart contracts and all the different stuff that they're doing with the layer 1 protocol on Cardano. And then we got things like IMX and Injective, other two great projects. Let's go ahead and scroll down to look at some of these other ones first. GRT performing incredibly well. The Google of blockchains, indexing the data between different blockchains. So it could be, and also utilizing AI as part of their process as well. And so we're seeing this massive move up. This is what I was talking about on Render, having a move like that only to continue moving up. This is what we want to watch for on projects. Right here, people felt like they missed a move. Right here, oh my God, I missed a move. And they buy here and they sell because it's dropping, where somebody smart says, okay, this is clearly a narrative that's on my vision. Now let me wait for this to come back and test the level. What did it do? It came back, tested this previous level. So if this is right here, as it's trying to make its move to the upside, let's kind of, oops, that's not what I want to do. Option F from the top to the bottom. And look at this. Look at where the price is right now. From that fib extension, from that previous range high, range low, this is coming right up into, look at this. Look at this, bounce nearly right on the 1.618. Next level up is 1.786. The 2.618 is all the way up here at 36 cents. That would represent another 30% move. And things are looking positive too. A lot of these things reset hard and are still pumping, which means they may have more room to run. HBAR been doing, making some heavy waves as well. Looks just like GRT. Very similar. Now, if we come right here, option F from the top. If you're on PC, when I say option, it's Alt. So Alt F gives you a Fibonacci. Just do Alt F and then click on the chart. So watch, option F. Now I click on the chart. Oops, sorry. You automatically get a fib. I'm all about the quick keys, man. So look at this. Came right up to the 1.382. The next target from this, if we're doing it on fib extensions, is up here at the 1.618, which is 12.2 cents, which doesn't feel like a lot, but that's still another 6% move. Now, if we're looking at this on, yeah, so we're going into, I'm looking at all these on Coinbase, so I can't tell if we're in price discovery or not, because they get listed on Coinbase after they do on other exchanges. But yeah, I mean, these things are just looking so strong. Link's giving us that opportunity below the price, right at the price that we bought it at, because we got this late. We got this here. This came back, it's giving us another opportunity, but this is looking a little weak. This may be setting up for a little bit more of a move to the downside. See all this stuff angled to the downside. The stochastics are looking like they're trying to move up, but they're already rolling over. You see this? Starting to angle. RSI's angled down. That's on the 6 hour. What does it look like on the 2 hour? We outlined this here, watching this. If this loses this, come down to here. It's exactly what it did. Came back up, rejected right here, right on this level. We talked about this. I can't believe I didn't see this before. I drew this over. I said, if this bounces here, it's likely going to come back and test this level. This is what happened. Rejected back down, chop, chop, chop. Now look at this. This didn't even get back up to this trend line that we know. Weaker move here, coming back down. We're going to want to watch this essentially on this exact line that we bought. Potential chopping in this channel or loss to come a little bit further down. I would be watching for this level here, 1756, which is the low of this range. If we lose that, then I do think this is actually pretty good because look at this. This is a range high. This is a range low. This is the target I'd be looking at. If we lose this level, I'd be looking at scooping a bunch more up at 1755. This market is just feeling so good. Quant's not doing anything for us yet. Quant, I cannot believe, is hovering around this $100, almost $1, this $100 range, for so long. Such good tokenomics. There are going to be so many integrations in the real world as well as blockchain with what the Quant's software protocol can utilize. They do have negative money flow still on the weekly. Look at this M formation. It's just not looking. It doesn't look ready yet. So what I'd be watching for is if we lose this sort of zone, which we're holding on to, if we lose that, then the next level down would be essentially right here. Why? We have the bounces here. We have the bounces here. This would be $96. And this is, look at this. We actually can kind of see a large head and shoulders here. This is suggesting something I do not think is going to happen. It's $73 quant. It could happen if the markets really take a downturn. But anywhere in this region from anywhere 103 and below this current price point, I doubled my position on this. What was it, like 5 days ago, 6 days ago? Something like that. Avalanche have this large move, head and shoulders, and then the breakdown. And the breakdown of this head and shoulders, this is a targeted move from the top of the head to the neckline, which is also the golden pocket there. And we measure this down. This has not yet really reached the target. This does look like it's a fall, rise, continuation, rise, continuation. Ultimately, I think, really right in this box between the previous buy area, which is this green, this is where I bought. And some people get mad at this. They buy, they get so excited the price action is pushing up. And then this upsets them to all hell when the price action comes back to the level that they bought at. You should be jumping for joy if you understand where we're at in the market cycle. And if this does pump like this, great. If you're trading it, you should have taken some profits on a pump like this. If you are position holding this, like this particular portfolio I'm holding for the next 12 to 14 months, very minimal changes here and there. And I'm telling all of you guys about each one of them. But on this drop, this is telling me, hey, yo Joey, yo Kelly, yo Steve, you get to buy this at the same price. Another opportunity before the train runs away. So let's not be mad at the market for doing what the market does. If we believed in it here, and we have this rise and this retrace, you should still believe in it here if you did your diligence. Now, if you're trading a meme coin, then absolutely not. If you bought and a meme coin goes up 7,000% and comes back down to the price you bought, be pissed as all hell that you didn't take profits. We need to be better at taking profits. Right now, we should be stocking this portfolio that I put together to share with you all, to show you the moves that I would make on an altcoin portfolio if I had $15,000 to $25,000. I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing with different types of allocations, with different niches in the market. And in the BitLab Discord, I show you here, boom, right here, Kelly Alpha. I've been breaking down some of the things I'm going to be buying next. Ondo's one that I outlined about a week ago, and it's ripping now. Fetch AI, Immutable X, Injective. I don't have any Matic in this portfolio. I don't even know how I overlooked that. I think because I have it in my other portfolio. I'm going to get some Matic in this portfolio. Trader Joe. I really believe in the Avalanche ecosystem. The DEX Trader Joe is doing incredible things. Injective, it's like the DEX of all DEXs in a way. But getting things that represent different parts of the ecosystem. And I'm breaking some things down for you guys. But everybody, I love you. Hope you're all doing well. I got a bunch more to share with you tomorrow. But join us on the BitLab, on the Crypto Answered Spaces. I'm doing this afternoon, 3 p.m. I put the link. I'll put it in there again. please come and retweet this, share it, join in. Please join RSV retweet. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a great discussion with some brilliant minds. I asked them a lot of the questions because I talk on this all day long. I get to ask them questions and really get it, good in-depth sort of context about what's going on with the markets, traditional markets, and how it's affecting what's about to happen with Bitcoin. What's the ETH ETF gonna represent for altcoins? Think about that. The ETH ETF is going to have impact on not only ETH but the broader market. So we need to be very aware of what's going on. So I hope you come and join us here on this Spaces, and then also all of you BitLab members. There is an event. Please go on RSVP in the BitLab Discord. Up here at the top, you see 2 events. See how this says 2 events? Click on that. Click interested. Join us. Joshua Jakes doing altcoin picks for Max Gains 2024 at 3 p.m. today also. So some of you might not be on my Spaces because that's going on, and that's perfectly okay. We got a lot of things going on in this world. We just try to make sure we bring you all the best data, all the tools, resources, coins, family. That's what this is all about. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I love having you guys here every day. Welcome to my home. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Now let's do it for real. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. The BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.